I'm here with the DreamHack Bucharest CSGO winner, Fifflaren of the NIP Gaming. How do you feel right now?
I feel pretty good. We had a slow start in the group stage, losing to Fnatic, so it feels great to actually be able to beat like teams like Very Games, Asana Dragons, and then Lemon Dogs in the finals. So couldn't be happier.
Okay, you mentioned the teams you beat here, but the games were a lot closer than usually. Is it finally the time that all teams are catching up with you?
I think some of the games that we played, most of like. For example, versus Asana Dragons, I think that we threw Mirage a little bit. We should have won that map for sure. And that versus Fnatic, they were just really good on train, and I think it's gone to the point where a lot of teams are actually catching up as well. So it's getting harder and harder to actually be able to win every single event that we attend. Which you can see. I mean, we lost EMS, placed like 3rd and 4th after losing to Virtus Pro. We lost Star Ladder as well. So it's. I wouldn't say that we're as dominant as before, even though we're winning. I guess you just give it a few more months, and we're going to see a really close and strong scene.
Okay. Well, what do you think of the tournament in general? There were a few delays and mistakes that you probably don't want to talk about, but what do you think? What kind of feedback would you give to admins?
Well, I guess the biggest feedback I can give them is that they need to take a look at their computers. The ones that we played at during the group stage and also the quarterfinals, I guess they're good for like StarCraft 2 and maybe League of Legends and stuff. But for CS, the processes were pretty bad. So like we were running around with not really that optimal FPS, even though we overclocked the PCs. So that's like one thing. And then the other thing would be like the heat in here. It's extremely warm. So just to have like one fan or something airing towards the players would be awesome. Other than that, I think the event has been good. The admins have been very helpful. It's a little bit like it's always going to be delays in tournaments, which happened this event as well. So I can't really complain about that. I think it's a good. They made a good choice when they decided to play the semifinals today instead of yesterday, because then we would have been sitting there until like 3-4 a.m. So props to them. Other than that, like the whole venue itself, I think it's a good venue. It seems to be going very successful as well, so I think they're doing a good job, and I'm pretty sure if they decide to pick up like CSGO next year as well, it's going to be even better. So
let's move from Bucharest to general CSGO. You have been on fire lately on the online cups. You have won both EMS 1 qualifiers, you've won the Faceit August finals, I think, and now that ESEA Season 5-15 and SLTV are starting again. How do you have time to prepare for all of these tournaments? And is there any other online tournaments starting? Well, the thing is, like right now, since I think it was the same in Source when like people didn't really want to practice against the Very Games in Source. Yeah. They had a lot of problems finding games, and I think we're at that stage now as well, where not a lot of teams want to play us, and then we have like certain teams that we don't want to play against as well. So we play a lot of online leagues and cups as well. It's for practice basically. So our way of practicing is playing those tournaments and leagues online. I think we have EMS. ESEA, a Star Ladder, maybe another Faceit Cup that we're doing like when we get back. So like we have a lot of games online, which is good for us as well. Like we're not the kind of team who would skip like an online tournament or whatever to like save strats. It's not really how we choose to roll. So we just take it as practice. Okay. There's a lot to play, but there haven't been any major CSGO tournament yet, at least offline. Like EMS1 has 40k, but it's half online, half just line finals, and ESA has 50k, but it's just like they fly maybe 2-4 teams. Why we haven't had any major tournament right now yet, and when will we see one? Do you consider MSC beat it in major tournament? I think the way that esports is like how it is right now is that you have League of Legends, which they have Riot throwing in a lot of money into that game. That you have Dota, which has the international, and like right now CS, the thing that Valve did was when they introduced the case system, trying to help the organizers of events out a little bit with some money. So I think we're going to see a pretty big major event pretty soon, depending on which event they decide to throw some money into. Who knows? It might not
be as big as people think, or it might be like no one really knows. It's just like a matter of like waiting and then see what happens. Like I'm guessing like one of the biggest tournaments that that is right now is also DreamHack.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's the one that we're looking forward to the most right now, like DreamHack Winter, as well as MSI. Like going to China and play. It's even though the prize pool at the LAN event isn't that great. It's always like I haven't been to China myself, so I think that's going to be a good event.
Okay, you mentioned the arms deal update that came out like 3-4 weeks ago during the ESA LAN, where you were also and you won it kind of comfortably. You were at the Valve for a day or two, I think, and you set the update actually live. What kind of things you did talk with the Valve developers about the game, and what kind of changes would you like to see?
Well, right now in the Valve office, they have 8 or 9 people that's working on CS:GO on a daily basis. It might not sound like a lot of people compared to, like, for example, Dota, but they're working their asses off over there, and I have huge respect for the guys over at Valve. You can't. One of the things is that you can't please everyone. That's like the thing that people need to realize. You really cannot please everyone, especially when it comes to if we have a competitive scene and we have just a random like casual scene. And people don't really keep in mind that the casual scene is like 90% of the player base. Yeah. And then the competitive scene is 10%. So the people that's complaining, about updates and whatnot, they need to keep in mind that, in the competitive scene, we are the minority. We can't just change everything to our liking, because, then the rest of the player base might not like it, and you might see a decrease in players. What they are trying to do though is, try to compromise with everything. They want to make sure that it works in both competitive and also in casual, which I think is, a good thing. What I would like to see being changed right now, we spoke a lot to Valve about the maps. For example, the SE maps. Like for example, they're updating the non-SE maps a lot. And one thing that they told us is that they made a small mistake, launching 2 versions of a map. Because then what happens is that they're dividing the community. You have the competitive scene playing the SE maps, and you have the non-competitive scene playing the non-SE maps, which is not something that they want. So right now they're working extremely hard to try to make the non-SE maps competitive enough for people to start playing it.
Okay.
So right now, you have a lot of like bugs or like glitches on the SE maps. Those are actually fixed in the non-SE maps. So like right now, the non-SE maps are a lot better than the SE maps.
Okay.
Which so I'm really hoping that the organizers will see that and start picking up the non-SE maps, because they should be played. Other than that, I think like a lot of people are complaining about the movement. If there's a slight movement change, I wouldn't mind. That's one of the changes that I would like to see. Another one would be like changing the sound when you plant, so it's like a diffuse, so it's just one sound, which makes it a lot. It makes it easier to be in a 1-on-X situation. Right now, if you're T and you're let's say 1 versus 3, you can't plan. They will just wait, and then they will hear you planning, and you can't really outbrain anyone at this stage. So that's one of the things that I would like to see changed. What else? They fixed the aim punching, which is something that we talked to them about. Like we talked to them about a lot of stuff, and they seem to have changed most of it. So like they are actually listening to people. They go on Reddit all the time. They read the feedback. If you have a solid feedback to give them, they will actually take the time. They will read through it and they will look into it. That's how they work. But again, you can't please everyone. So even though you might have something that you want changed, maybe 50% of the other people doesn't want to, or maybe it's not like viable to change it.
Okay. So anything else for that question?
Movement. I'm guessing a lot of people have a slight problem with the op as well, that it doesn't register 100%. That's something that they're looking into. They're not sure if it's like server related or client related, so it's hard for them to pinpoint what they can change about it, but they're looking into it at least. So, but I think that's pretty much it. Like Valve always tries to develop their games, especially like CS:GO right now. If you look at the game how it was 1 year ago, and if you compare it to today, they've made a lot of changes, like for the better. Like I would say that this game is extremely good right now, and you know, some minor tune-ups and some minor changes would just make the game better. So I guess we just have to wait and see what Valve comes up with.
Okay. You talk about maps, and that you said that they are updating non-SC maps. Do you think about what about Mirage? Do you like the Valve version? Do you think it should replace the CE one?
The Mirage version, we did talk to them about it, since they changed a lot on that map. They made it like the Mirage CE version is very like balanced. It's very stable. The problem with that map is that it's not really graphically good. Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things that they wanted to change. If you compare it to any other map that they have, you know, it's not that good looking, and they want to change that. And then what happened was they changed a lot of positions and then changed a lot of things. I do believe that they are fixing that though. So I'm pretty sure like in the near future we're going to see like an update on the Valve Mirage, which is going to be you know, for the better. So I guess we just have to wait and see. But I do believe that it's coming.
Okay. Normally CS:GO has normally CS has had like 5 maps, but in 1.6 in the end it actually had 5. But now that CS:GO has Catch and Season added, what do you think about those maps, and should we have more? Do you think Valve should make them official?
I mean, Cash is okay. I think Season, they just pretty much strictly just moved it over from Source. So they haven't really changed anything. I guess we're the team that hasn't really played Season a lot. In Source, I actually like that map. I think it's a good map, but like one map that I'm missing a lot is Tuscan. I really hope that Brute, you know, actually gets rolling on his map and actually launches it, because that's one of the maps where like people are really waiting for it. So, but I feel right now we have a lot of maps to choose from, and you know, if you have too many maps, like new teams or like teams in general, they can't practice all of the maps. You know, they need. So it can't be too much, but I also feel like we need like a solid, let's say like 7 maps would be like an ideal number. So Cash is okay. Season, I feel, isn't really played on that many events. Like it's DMS and ESEA, yeah, and that's about it. And like I don't think that any other tournament will pick that map up. So.
Well, what about CS:GO community in general? Like the Reddit is really active, and HLTV has a lot of threads, but there's been quite a rude comments, and people like to bash you and XDSense, for example, and the NIP Fnatic drama from yesterday got like 500 comments alone on Reddit. What do you think about the CS:GO community? Do you get bashed too much? Do you have any words for haters?
I feel that Reddit is a lot better in terms of like they're not as childish as HLTV. Like HLTV, if you go on HLTV, 80% of the posts there will just be flame. You know, you can't really like, it's not even feedback, it's just flame. Whereas if you go to Reddit, you will actually get decent feedback. There's people there that actually takes the time and writes something up that's, you know, that actually makes sense. So I think in terms of like Reddit, I think that Reddit is growing a lot, and I feel that like Reddit is turning into a really good forum. Whereas HLTV, I feel like ever since like they launched CS:GO, it's just gone downhill. Like HLTV has the best coverage in terms of like international coverage for CS:GO. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that, because obviously they're doing a good job. They're trying to attend every single event. They're covering every single online event as well, and you know they have the stats for each and every player, video interviews and so on. So they're doing a great job in that. It's just that the community itself in HLTV is I feel that it's childish. I feel that you know they can bash me all they want, but if they go on like players like, you know, Existence, just because he's not, for example, top ranking or whatever, you know, like they don't I don't think that they realize how much Existence has actually done for Team Barrier Games. He's like the core in that team, and like he deserves all the credit for them to even like I would still say like if Barrier Games didn't end up in our bracket, they would probably finish top 2 in this event. You know, they're for sure the second best team in the world right now, and you know, like if you have a team that's second best in the world, I don't understand why you should, you know, flame a team that's doing so well. It doesn't really make any sense. As for me, again, like we're the best team in the world. I still feel like, you know, people don't realize it's not like my team is playing 4 versus 5, you know, but that's something that people don't really realize that much. We're still winning pretty much everything we attend. So people just need to, I don't know, grow up a little bit and, you know, think about the fact that you can't have like top fraggers in every team. Like you need to have some sort of like a laid back player, like, you know, that does the stuff that the other players might not want to do, you know. You know, like I don't think that everyone wants to just jump in and suicide every single round, you know. But if that's what you need to do, then you need to do it, you know, to win. So as long as we keep on winning, I'm going to keep my mouth shut and just let them flame as much as they want. It doesn't really concern me that much.
Last weekend, new Inferno Online was opened in Stockholm, and you guys played there against the 2005 lineup of NIP. You were supposed to play best of 3 in 1.6 and then one map on CSGO, yeah. But due to some childish behavior from community, you have to play best of 3 in 1.6, and you lost it 1-2. Did you practice for it, and how was the event for you?
Well, first of all, it's a shame that people choose to DDoS. I don't even understand. Like, it can't even be fun. Like, we had like 29k viewers, so you're basically like, this one person is DDoSing the entire, you know, the entire server for ES and Inferno Online, and then and for what, you know? It doesn't really make any sense, and it was a shame. It was really fun to play like 1.6 versus the old guys. We haven't practiced at all, and I don't think that they have played anything either. So it was just one of those games where you go in and, you know, you just play and you have fun. Like I don't think I played 1.6 for the past like 8 years. But it was fun to just go in and play a little bit, you know. We were having a good laugh. It's a shame though that we didn't get to play some CSGO. I would have loved to play some CSGO with these guys. Inferno Online itself, the opening was good. They had a lot of people coming over there to, you know, to show their support for Inferno Online and, you know, to see the new place. And it's just props to Inferno Online for, you know, they have a really successful internet cafe already, you know, in Odenplan in Stockholm, and then they're opening this one, and I can only hope that this turns out just to be as successful as the other one.
Okay. I won't let you. I'm just gonna let you just go celebrate. But do you have any final words? Where can we see you next? Where can we see your team? Blah blah blah.
I think the next event that we're going to.
Tech Labs, maybe.
Yeah, I think Tech Labs. Maybe I'm not 100%. Might be another one. Obviously, we try to attend every single event that we can. So, and of course, you know, all the online tournaments. And then obviously, I would just like to thank all of our sponsors, our managers, the players in my team. A special hi to Juha Kurpa, and hi to all the Finnish people out there.
Thank you.
Thanks.